team that's picked to beat everybody in the coast.
And how about the quarterback being a Heisman Trophy candidate? I saw that yesterday. So we got.
You went down there and beat them in the rain last year, and that kind of set you on a roll for conference play.
Right.
How does that change the dynamic to get ready for game one when it's an opponent of that magnitude?
As far as preparation right now, it does not. I think that when you open in league play, I always find that there's a lot more buzz about it than if you play in on-conference, whether it's a really, big-time team or whether it's a 1AA team or whatever. There's a lot more buzz, especially this year opening against the preseason favorite. And, he got a great quarterback, and he can run like a deer. He hurt a lot of people last year. He's an impressive kid, and I know he's picked to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But it's not going to be any easier the next week because the quarterback for Ohio University was picked to be MAC Player of the Year. And he's a really good player too. So, from one to the other, it's going to be a struggle this fall to stop those guys.
You had a year before Louisiana Tech where you were coordinator.
Yes.
It was a long time ago.
Sure.
Was there a process last season of settling in, getting comfortable as a play caller, and kind of reacclimating to that role a bit?
Oh, absolutely. Many reasons. Number one, trying to adjust myself to a new defense was something I felt as the season progressed, I got more comfortable. It was outstanding. Coach Narduzzi, kind of mentored me, if you will, into the defense. And then as the defense, as we got farther along in it, I was able to maybe throw a few things in that we had talked about doing to enhance the defense. We didn't drop anything, we just enhanced it by adding a few things. We also had a couple of new coaches. We had 3 new GAs. And Coach Partridge, who wasn't a new coach, was only here a year.
Right.
So we were kind of a new staff, if you will, last year on defense. And so Coach Narduzzi did a great job of kind of mentoring us and kind of helping us learn the defense the way he knows it. And then as we got along, I like to think that, we came along pretty well as the season progressed. And I think by the end of the year became a pretty solid defense. Those are the biggest challenges. And arguably the hardest thing is when you work 18 hours a day with guys, it takes a while to get used to each other. And fortunately everybody's back this year, and the other coaches know my warts now, and that's always a good thing because I've got plenty of them, and so I'm excited for that stuff.
It's a lot of experience coming back on this defense this year. How is a guy like Paris Ford fitting into that? Because he's a very talented athlete, but he hasn't played much. So how is he fitting in with all the seniors?
It's funny. I've had many people tell me there's a lot of experience. We lost 10 seniors on defense, not on the team, on defense. We lost 6, arguably starters, if you add Quentin Wagenis. Mm-hmm. So we have some kids who played, but we lost a lot of experience. When you talk about experience, you're talking about guys that are 4- and 5-year guys. So I look at this group as a young group. We don't have a lot of seniors. We had 5 seniors on defense total. Now we lost 10 last year. We lost 6 seniors that were starters, and we only have 5 seniors total. So I look at it as a very young team. I've put a lot of pressure on the seniors to be the leaders. And, I don't look at Paris as an inexperienced guy. He's just a guy who's not played as much on the field. But, he's fitting in well. He's a playmaker. With all younger guys, it's consistency that makes you good. Because in the course of 12, 13, 14 games, you have to be consistent. And it's very hard for a 17, 18, 20, 21 to be consistent. If any of you have ever had 18 to 22-year-olds, you understand, because that is just the challenge of our business.
Was he consistent in the spring? Because Coach Narduzzi made him the starter.
Very much so. Very much.
So he's getting that consistency.
Sure. The difference between spring and fall is if you screw up in the spring, it's just a play. In the fall, it's part of the game, which makes it a huge difference. So, again, consistency's got to be even higher level now because it has an impact on a game, not well, it was one play in a scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there's a lot more chips on the table in these situations. So that's the most important thing about it at this point.
A lot of those seniors and more experienced guys you were talking about are in the secondary.
Yes.
How can having experience in the back end kind of help some of those guys up front, maybe linebackers or in the defensive line that are still kind of learning and coming along?
Well, I think the thing that is most critical for us at Pitt is that our defensive backs are put in pressure situations all the time. We have our corners right up in the wide receiver's face. Our safeties are in a lot of situations where they're literally one-on-one, and so the more experienced, the more talented you are, the better chance you have to win those one-on-one battles. Earlier in the year before that, there were situations where these guys were in those situations and didn't have as much success, sometimes just because of lack of experience. And so the experience now just will carry over. How will that affect the front? Well, hopefully it'll be more difficult to throw the ball out to there, so then we can spend more time working on other areas in the front seven and to enhance especially our young linebacker.
Coach Narduzzi talked a lot about how deep the secondary is as well, not just in the experience factor. Does that maybe help in the fact that you guys can pressure more, knowing you're a couple deep?
And we can, in situations where we need to, we have the ability to bring in 5, 6, 7 defensive backs and not lose a step if we need to. You know, you play teams that go empty and they go 5 wide receivers. Well, we can match that up a lot better. And usually teams that go into those situations are trying to get matchup differences, and we'd like to think right now that we can hang in there in those situations.
How would you describe the defense? Coach says you're as a team, an athletic, blue-collar team. That's the mentality. What's your assessment of your defense?
Well, we got started this spring, but I'm not going to make that decision yet, or I'm not going to give you that because this group right now is just forming into a team. So probably about practice 15, I'll have a better feel for exactly what our identity is. Does that make sense? We are a blue-collar team. The kids come to work every day. I was here all summer and watched the kids come in every day. Nobody was late. Everybody would work their tails off, and they have done a great job from really the first day this became a team, which was spring ball, all the way through until now, as far as just coming and doing their job. Now we have to figure out what our identity is and what that will be. I have to wait and kind of see how the seniors mold this group and how that'll work. It's always interesting to watch because every year's a new year.
It's one day of camp, but you got to see in the spring too. What do you think about the guys that are filling in at those linebacker positions? Some guys have had some experience, but what do you think about that?
Well, we're a really athletic group. We've added even more athletic ability with some of our young guys. I believe our kids can run. Both our Mike linebackers, Brightwell and let's see, who am I thinking? No, Hines outside. Reynolds, I'm sorry.
Very good.
Yeah. So Reynolds and Brightwell both are guys who, in my opinion, are physical. They're experienced, and they make a lot of plays. So, you take a big, strong guy in the middle, as we had with Wagenis the year before, and we've had for several years, and then you put athletic guys outside, and it really makes you run. We really want guys that can run on the outside for people that like to run outside. then you like to have that big guy up the middle for when they want to try to stick it right up the middle. So I believe we have that ability. Probably biggest negative right now is just lack of game experience, and so we're trying to put them in those pressure situations as soon as possible over the next 30 days, so that when they get the games, it will be easy to go out and play.
What are your expectations for Rashad Weaver this season?
Well, Rashad is, I think he's the epitome of a blue-collar guy. He's a guy that comes to work every day. He works really hard off the field in preparation. The thing that I look for him to do more now is to become more of a leader with our whole defense in teaching them how to learn how to study the game. He is a kid who studies the game, and that's what makes him the most successful. Is he the best athlete out there? Probably not. But he's a guy who looks like the best athlete because most of the time he knows what's coming before it comes. That makes you a fast player, and that's what he is. And hopefully that off the field ability will carry over to other kids.
Randy, Charlie was telling us he doesn't think you've ever had a year where you were just coordinator and didn't have to coach a position. How is that transition? And now that you've had a year with most of these coaches, how is that going to impact what you guys can do defensively?
Well, it gives me a chance to jump into different groups and help in those situations. I think probably the biggest thing I learned about just being a coordinator is to learn how to shut up. Because I would go into meetings and be disruptive by bringing up this or that, sitting in the back of the room or whatever. And so when I started to learn to shut up and let the coaches do their job, we became a better defense. So maybe the best thing for me to do is just be quiet and coach the coaches, which is what I try to do.